I'm Emily, a community founder and part-time remote worker for a startup in San Francisco. I'm 30 something and I feel like I've been through a lot of ups and downs, particularly the big picture of things, wanting to work abroad, moving abroad, straddling two different worlds in the East and the West. And a lot of it had to come down to, what do I do with my life and where am I headed and why do I feel so lost? Though I've only been on this planet for 3 decades or so, I do feel like there are people perhaps in their 20s trying to figure out what their next step is. Maybe a lot of you feel lost. You don't know really what your identity is. You're just unsure of the future. And I feel like I've been someone who has always been wanting to understand the future, who has always been trying to run faster to the future, trying to figure everything out. And unfortunately, I probably didn't enjoy as much of my experiences as I could have if I was more thoughtful, present, and happy with what I had. But instead, I was always chasing what was next. So for those who are in their early 20s right now, and you're probably watching this video, or anyone who feels lost in life, these are the things that I did to feel more comfortable and content with the life that I had. Number one was looking at the life that I had now. And that was maybe just sitting there thinking of the things what I'm grateful for, even writing it down. Sometimes writing it down just feels so much better because you can reflect and look back on it. But writing down the things that you're grateful for will help you thoroughly think about the life that you have. And these are the simple things that you might take for granted. Like for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I could travel more. I think about I don't need to travel right now because I'm actually saving for the future when I really want to travel. Right now is just, I don't really want to travel. I don't even know where I want to travel. It's just a means to escape. So I want to be more thoughtful of where I want to travel. But I'm happy being here with my partner and enjoying life in the city or exploring my backyard. I think that was really helpful in figuring out what I was content with, what I was grateful for. I know it's so cliche, but it is something that has helped me kind of root down and be more thoughtful about my life. I really thought of the things that I wanted to do and went after them. I didn't ever think that something was too big. I've always wrote it down, broke it into small goals leading to the big goal. Especially if you're someone who likes goal setting, I would highly recommend, at least this is what I do, by quarterly writing down 2 to 3 goals that you want to accomplish in a quarter. And then underneath, it's what are the actions you'll take to reach those goals? And usually they should be quantifiables. Let's say my goal is I want to be a healthier person. Underneath it, I would say I want to stop eating from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. for fasting. I want to ensure I walk 10,000 steps per day, things like that. So they're quantifiable goals towards your big goal. And I guess that's kind of where I was able to get to point A to point B when I wanted something so badly. And obviously it never turned out to be the way that I wanted it per se, but the goal was attained. And the best thing that could happen out of it is that I got an amazing experience and I was able to hit my goal. Number 3 is really about being intentional with the people that you have around you. I cannot stress this enough because I think your surroundings, the people that you surround yourself with, really impact you in so many different ways, physically, mentally, physically. I think there's a huge difference in being around people who will laugh at your goals or who put you down, who are negative. Those are the things that you really need to be careful of, because that just changes you as a person. So when you're younger, look out for the good people who have really good moral ethics and values, people who take care of each other, people who see the positive in this world. There's so much negativity already, but just I personally love being around positive people. And I think also finding the people that are real. They can be realists, they can be pretty harsh and blunt, but they only mean well for you. And I think those people are the way that they are because they genuinely care about you and your well-being. The other thing I would say is that you need to understand when to let go. I think when you're younger, you think everything will be the same forever, but The thing is, your frontal lobe is still developing in your early 20s. So people change, situations change. I've had friends who moved away, who've had babies, who are going through divorces early on, started businesses who we just don't speak anymore. But then after a year, we reconnect and it's just the same as ever. So I think the more adaptable you are to change, the more open you are to it, I think the more successful you will be in life and in anything that you do. And then lastly, which I feel like I'm just saying this to anyone out there because this is something that I am personally going through, is understanding that life actually looks really different if you want it to look different. And maybe it's because a lot of people are getting laid off right now. Life or having a career can look really different. I don't know if it's because of the American capitalistic hustle culture that I'm like, since we started working, all we cared about is like money, money, money. But I see other people in other countries where they actually take breaks, they get more parental leave, they value different things. So I think personally, you just need to realize what is important to you. And like for me, I don't want to be a VP or a director. I don't want to climb the corporate ladder. What I actually want is a stable remote career that allows me to work from anywhere with a team of people that I respect and like working with. I like the autonomy. I like freedoms to build as I please and be creative. I don't want to work with toxic people like I have at booking.com. I think maybe what you should really double down is understanding like what it is that you want specifically and figuring that out. And the earlier you figure that out with your career, the better it is. The last thing I do want to say is that everything is kind of temporary in the sense where you might be unhappy in a current situation that you're in, but it doesn't have to be that way. The only hard part is that no one else can get you out unless it's yourself. So, for example, I was highly depressed in college and I was like that for maybe 2 years. And I was like, hell, I'm just gonna study abroad. And it was the best decision I ever had. I changed my environment. I changed my entire personality. It changed the way that I saw the world. So it just comes to a point where if you're unhappy, it really is up to you to figure out that day of when you're going to make action, when you're going to change it for yourself, because no one's going to come and rescue you. Like $1 million dropping out of the air might not even make you happier. However, it is really up to you to figure out what kind of life you want, what kind of values and morals you hold dear to you, and really envisioning that life that you want, that most authentic life. And that's what I wanted to share on this random weekday night. I am actually going to go clean some stuff and get back to some work. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This was a little bit more different than the normal videos I create, but I just felt really compelled to want to talk about it today. Yeah.